Hey boxing fans, this is Ben and this is my prediction of the Manny Pacquiao Miguel Cotto fight this Saturday night in Las Vegas. It's the biggest fight of the year, without a shadow of a doubt, as we all know. I'm going to go with Miguel Cotto in this fight. The majority of people, I must say, at least from watching the online YouTube predictions, the majority of people are going for Pacquiao. So I'm kind of being a bit bolder here, but I do believe that Cotto is going to win this fight. Now, I watched The Wire, his prediction on the fight, his breakdown of it, and I found it fascinating, and it had me very convinced a while ago. Talking about Cotto being a southpaw, fights out of an orthodox stance. He's going to have a lot of problems with Pacquiao, who is a southpaw that actually fights out of a southpaw stance. We've seen southpaws in the past give Cotto problems early on. When he fought Zab Judah in the first round of that fight, Judah stunned him quite badly with a very good left hand. If you watch even the Quintana fight, in which Cotto really beats Quintana up badly in the 5th round, but before that, Quintana's given him a lot of problems, moving about the ring very well, very mobile, obviously coming out of the southpaw stance. Then we have even the DeMarcus Corley fight. That was down at 140 pounds, light welterweight. Corley had him on Queer Street, as they say. He was really stunned bad, and unfortunately for Corley, he couldn't finish him off. Cotto fans will point out that Cotto was weight drained around that time, which is true. I mean, if you look, for instance, at the weigh-in of the Paulie Malignaggi fight, Cotto looked absolutely terrible. So it's no surprise that he moved up in weight. Now, what I believe is going to happen in this fight is that early on Pacquiao is going to really dominate. He's going to take the early rounds, possibly even knock Cotto down. Certainly, I believe he will stun him, probably with a straight left hand. But I believe that unlike Ricky Hatton and unlike Oscar De La Hoya, I think Cotto, at this stage of his career, in comparison to those two, I think he's extremely resilient. He's got a better chin than people think. I know he's been down a few times. Personally, I discard the Margarito fight because I think Margarito was his hand wraps loaded. Just look at Cotto's face at the end of that fight. Has it ever been that swollen? I don't think so. People point to the Joshua Clottey fight as being a sign that Cotto's on the downslide. For my money, in my opinion, Clottey is one of the hardest fighters to face in that division. Possibly he's one of the best fighters in that division. He's just not a particularly glamorous guy, so he doesn't get all the attention. But I mean, just look at his record, and you'll see why he's so good. So it's no shame to be taking the distance with Clottey and being taken close. I mean, Cotto had a terrible cut in that fight, a terrible cut, and look how he finished it. He still finished it strongly. He won the championship rounds. Now, as I said, Pacquiao's going to dominate the early rounds, but then Cotto's going to start coming into it. Cotto's going to be strong enough to resist Pacquiao's punches, and eventually Cotto's either going to wear him down with body shots, in my opinion, or with power counter punches to the face. Cotto's actually not a bad counter puncher if you watch his fights. So I see a late stoppage actually taking place here, somewhere between 8, 9, 10. Possibly a TKO in terms of the referee stopping the fight, something like that, as opposed to a count out. My only worry in this fight, in terms of us as fans being able to enjoy it, is both guys are susceptible to cuts, especially Cotto in recent fights. I mean, is that cut that he sustained against Clottey fully healed? Who knows? Pacquiao, although in his last 3 fights hasn't been cut because he's hardly been hit, let's face it. Before that he had a tendency to cut. We saw that against Morales. We saw that against Marquez. So let's just hope that doesn't screw up what is otherwise going to be, in my opinion, the fight of the year. To rank alongside some of the other best fights we've seen this year, which I would say are the Matagua Lopez fight, the Jean-Pascal Diacono fight, among others. So that's my prediction. I'm going for Cotto by knockout in the later rounds, after sustaining a lot of punishment but being able to withstand it. Let me know what you think. I bet I'm going to be wrong, but oh well, because I was wrong about my last prediction, which was the Hay Valua fight. But that's what prediction's all about. You've got to take some risks. Enjoy the fight, guys. In the UK, it's taking place probably like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that. So it's another late one for us, but we're used to it. Latest.